Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's okay, thank you.
You know we're here to help if you need us.
Are you leaving us too, Grace?
Yes, I am. Nice to meet you all.
Same here.
Hold on. It's been good to know.
We're alive, Allison. This is Senate Government Operations, and we are going to sing our way through today's session. It is Thursday, April
22nd.
You knew what day it was yesterday.
21st. The Queen's birthday.
Yes, 97 years old. Anyway, it is, and we are going to be looking at the Burlington Charter change and the St. Albans Charter change, and then later on, we're going to go through a commission that is set up in corrections, but Tucker isn't blocking us through that one. But Tucker, if you would like to do the Burlington Charter, yeah, we're doing Burlington first.
This is our third Burlington Charter.
And this is either the third or fourth, and there's still one to come.
That is correct. Good afternoon, everyone. Tucker Anderson, Office of Legislative Counsel. You have in front of you H744, which is yet another of the Burlington Charter amendments that was originally contained in H448 as introduced. H744 contains one proposal of amendment, and it is a proposal for ranked choice voting in the election of city councilors. The proposal amends Section 5 of the city charter, which relates to the methods of election for the mayor and city councilors. It adds a new subsection B that will apply only to those city councilors. It states that all elections of city councilors shall be held by ballot using a system of ranked choice voting without a separate runoff election. If you were to skim through subsection A preceding this, you would note that under current law, both the election of the mayor and the city councilors are subject to runoff elections. Subsection B further requires that the chief administrative officer shall implement a ranked choice voting protocol according to the following guidelines. First, that the ballot shall give voters the option of ranking candidates in order of preference. Second, if a candidate receives a majority of first preferences, that candidate is elected. If no candidate receives a majority of preferences, an instant runoff tabulation shall be performed by the presiding election officer. Finally, the city council may adopt ordinances consistent with the subsection to implement these standards. I will note for you that H744, as you see it in its present form, was amended in the House.
Yep.
And it was amended to remove very specific procedures that were included in Burlington's proposal. They had a procedure for how the calculation in a ranked choice system would carry out. And it was selective of one very specific form. It is the most commonly used form of ranked choice voting. Instead of requiring the city to go through that specific procedure for ranked choice voting, the House put in that subdivision 4 that would allow the city council by ordinance to implement ranked choice voting standards. An explanation there, the underlying system that was contained in what Burlington passed is known as the HARE system of ranked choice voting. There was a higher HARE.
Name
That
for
is-
somebody, not
No,
banana.
we don't know.
It was named for somebody, and that particular type of counting, round by round counting, is applied in multiple different contexts for seating and for ranked choice voting. So the decision was made in House Government Operations to leave it to the city council to determine what the best procedure would be for calculating ranked choice voting when it becomes necessary.
And I will say that we have had numerous correspondences from a constituent in Burlington who wanted us to take testimony on a different system, which is not the HARE system, and implement that is the system that would be used by Burlington. I have corresponded with him and said that we do not need to take that testimony because we're not going to decide what system they should use. That's up to the city council in Burlington. So I do not think we need to take testimony about the different systems. So I just wanted to put that out there, that I have been contacted and have corresponded back and said, it's not our job to decide what system they implement. And if we ever do it for the state, then it will be the position of the business of this committee to work with the Secretary of State and other election officials to figure out what system is used, but not for the city of Burlington. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I appreciate that. How many different, just out of idle curiosity, perhaps not idle, how many systems are there? I've got one that calls it a straight ahead on Dorset or something, and a bottom two runoff. Are there many versions of this?
Folks sent me a lot of research around this, and the answer is that based on what I read, there's at least a dozen different systems that could be implemented. However, there's only one system that has been implemented in practice, and it's the HARE system. The others at this point are theoretical.
Okay.
And the bulk of the research around the HARE system has looked at when there are errors in the election results.
All right, just curious. Thank you.
So I just happened to be reading the first section, and I'm just struggling with how the last sentence makes sense anymore. Did you have the same thought? Like, I mean, I just like, which persons? How could a persons be elected? Are they saying if it's multiple ballots, or I guess we're leaving it alone because it's not.
Are you you're looking at their current language in there?
Yeah, I mean, we did there. It is in subsection A. We did take out city councilor, so I thought, oh, let me make sure this all still makes sense. And the last sentence just doesn't seem to make sense.
It does not anymore, unless there are going to be multiple mayors. But perhaps that's something for technical correction in the future, or if you wanted to.
I'm not sure I would change that because they might have multiple offices for something.
Well, they do have school commissioners.
there
No,
you go.
okay, but I saw that. But then, if you still read the whole thing, it still doesn't make any sense. The person or persons receiving a plurality of all the votes shall be declared elected. Are they? There's only going to be a runoff in one part of town. Like, they don't have plurality. They don't elect more than one person in any of these roles.
Well, school commissioners, they do.
But they don't. They're not. It's not like you pick the top two, like for the House. There's going to be one ballot where one person is elected, because people don't vote for the same school commissioners.
You mean different sections of the town vote for their own school commissioner?
Yes.
Oh,
I just don't know how persons could be declared elected.
Well, it's the same sentence in the second sentence of the same of A. It says persons or persons.
But that's when they're going into an election where multiple people go into the runoff. And I just don't know how you come out of a runoff and persons are declared elected.
I don't know. I would just be very reluctant to make any changes to their current language in their charter.
It's a curiosity at this point. If there's no good answer, I will ask someone in Burlington.
Could have just,
I
because
still
they
don't
didn't,
understand.
they didn't change that language. They just changed the other language. So that's
Well,
probably.
how can two people have a plurality of? That's the question.
Well, that is the question, but, and if we want to change it and give more testimony, we can do that. I'm very reluctant to make changes to their current charter without.
No, I will just reach out to someone in Burlington who, like me, cares about.
Well, or somebody could do it as technical.
Well,
No,
we
it's
don't know.
not.
We might be changing
We
something.
might be changing
important.
something that we shouldn't be changing. We don't know that. they didn't make the change. I,
I'm gonna ask Jean Bergman, and we're
Right.
gonna be fine.
If you do get information, and
Yeah.
this is something that could be technically
Right.
corrected, we can add it to the TC list
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
next year to be
Yeah.
brought up.
okay.
yeah, that's the way I would do it, because I'm really reluctant.
No, it was just like, it's short, there, I don't have anything else to question, and I just read that section and it just
and then
struck
if
me.
you get that changed in the technical correction, so you can report the technical.
I won't be here, so
I'm going again just so that I can report it again,
pay me homage,
even
but
if I'm not on this committee.
no, I will ask Counselor
Yeah.
Bergman.
Yeah, and if it is, then it can be changed in the technical
Okay.
corrections. Okay, thank you for that input, Tucker. So although I am reluctant, as always, to make changes to a charter that was voted, I do think this is making the change from the very specific, detailed system to allowing the city council to debate that and come up with the system they want, does make sense in this case. Yes.
How did the city of Burlington respond to that? Did they weigh in on it? They were okay with it?
If you go back to review the committee meeting where this amendment happened, I was not in the witness chair. The city attorney from the city of Burlington was there and initially proposed this language change.
Oh, okay. Great, well, that's our answer.
And he has weighed in, Dan Richardson. Yes.
Oh, Dan, I was thinking,
Dan Richardson.
what an
is the-
odd blending of Ann Richards, and anyway, forget that. That was,
So, do we have any more questions about the Burlingtons? So I'm just, before we drop that topic, I'm going to ask Calvin. I noticed that when the question was put by Senator Palmer, how many systems are there? And Tucker responded, oh, there are many. You were shaking your head.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you know about ranked choice voting?
I don't remember everything off the top of my head, but there are a lot of systems and they do favor different things. So some systems like favor your second choice, some favor your last choice. So it's interesting which system you choose. It can affect the outcome.
interesting.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Good
listen.
answer.
A plurality winner is where you have one vote. So it's more of your standard election.
Great.
So at the moment, the office is in Burlington, the mayor and there are several ranked choice voting
No,
races.
there are none.
Nope.
It would just be this?
City councilors.
Oh, it was repealed.
Yes, in 2009, there was one election by ranked choice voting for mayor. And you can find a ton of research about what happened in that election.
And many
You can talk
people.
to Kurt Wright if you want.
Huh?
You can talk to Kurt Wright if you want.
Yeah.
About everything.
Or Bob Kiss.
Or Bob Kiss.
Oh, right, that was the Bob Kiss election.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
so they repealed it and now they're trying again. We'll see if they've been.
But not for
not for the mayor.
Not for the mayor. No, I
councils.
see that. Yeah. But they're trying the system again
Mhm.
to see. Yeah. Okay.
And may I just ask Calvin one more
Yeah.
question? How have you learned so much about ranked choice voting? Do you have a civics class that you learned?
I did it in a probability and decision-making classes unit. And I've also watched a couple like things on it, just covering it because I thought it was interesting.
I'd probably like math if I was talking about elections in a probability class.
No, well, when we discuss this next, we're gonna have to call you in as a witness.
Probably to explain to some of us, because I was on this committee before when they had a big chart up there and were trying to explain it and they had arrows going this way and this way and this way. And I said, no, not gonna happen under me.
It can get complicated because there is a lot of information out there about it.
Well, thank you.
Which system does Maine use?
Hair. And it applies to presidential elections, but none of their statewide
Ooh, that must be something.
elections.
So there's so many more ballots.
There is also a lot of research about what happened with the collection and counting of ballots
Yeah,
in
you
some
got
of those
the
counties.
location.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's still less ballots than New York City, probably.
Yeah.
And unusually, you don't know a lot about the hair who's, for whom this is named?
Poor Tucker.
I know, but Tucker
No.
usually knows this.
No, so when I looked at the hair system, I'll admit that my fascination was not with hair, but rather that there was a reference to how parliamentary seats are seated based on a hair system of assignment, and that I went and looked at all the Scandinavian parliaments and got really engaged with that and realized that I had a lot of other work to do. We move on.
Including filling the generator.
That's right.
So Tucker, you will be able to join my caucus. There are lots and lots of caucuses in this building, right? There's the Old People's Caucus, the River Caucus,
Buffalo
the
caucus.
Buffalo Caucus. There's tons of caucuses. I am going to form a caucus for those of Scandinavian descent. And you are probably the only other person who would be joining me, so.
Oh, I think they're quite a
The
few.
meetings will be quick.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Jane couldn't think of anybody.
I think there are actually quite a few. I'm trying to, yeah. But Tucker's definitely.
Anyway,
one.
Tucker.
My Danish family visited for the last 2 weeks, including the power outage, and left this morning. So farewell, Helen. Take care.
Okay,
Oh my God, they were there.
Yes.
all right.
I'm so
So
sorry.
does anybody want to move?
I would move that we pass out H 744 as presented, as passed by the House, as it came to us, intact,
Without amendment.
without amendment.
It's not intact. Without amendment.
Intact. Oh, with all its parts. I would
Do
move
we
that we
pass
pass out
something?
H 77.
What we'll do is we
Hold it
can
open.
take the vote and then hold it open and move on to St. Albans, and we'll move it. And then we'll move to St. Albans, and then he can vote when he comes back. Because he is in the building.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to take the vote?
Yes, sorry. Just reading it again. Okay, Senator Clarkson,
Yes.
Senator Collmore.
No.
Oh. Senator Flynn, we're holding it open. Senator Ron Hinsdale, yes. Senator White.
Yes.
So,
Okay,
At least you're consistent.
and you probably would like to
Yeah,
report this?
too.
I don't think
Sure,
Senator Collins
sure.
would like to.
be happy to. I don't even think I
Okay,
need you
that's
for this, but because
It's okay.
because it's only here, so at this point.
I love it. I mean, but I was just chatting with him.
We
about
we don't question people's motives.
I wasn't. I was showing how consistent.
She was
he is.
complimenting me on my consistency.
I was complimenting him.
So would you like to move to St.
Yep.
Albans? And then when Anthony comes back, I guess I don't, right, I better figure out what I'm talking about.
I need to contact Rep McCarthy. He would like to be part of this. So I'm going to turn the live stream off while I'm contacting him.